Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and Wargames. In this video we are making a battle report at 2000 points on a very beautiful table that we are bringing to the French Wargame Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
We started a bit late because there is transport problems in Paris as usual. We will do our usual quick-ish battle report. We will not film every dice roll, so it can have a limited time, like something between 30 minutes and let's say 50 minutes. We will see at the end how much time it takes. That's the objective. We play the Scandinavians. They play against
Germans.
as always, but as you have seen from the last
Same
old. We continue our narrative battle reports, which means that last battle report you've seen that the Italians were kicked out of Tortuga by the Empire. They've been retreating to their secret lair. We'll see the scenario, but basically the Praetorian Guard finished wiping out a little bit the East India Trade Company out of some islands, and they are now focusing on finishing off these Italians that might be hiding something. We'll see a little bit more during the scenario. As always, if you like this type of content and want to support us, give us a thumbs up. Really helps to sharing with as many people as possible. Of course, what helps even more is to put a little comment. Let us know if you like it, what did you think of the game, and if you put a comment, you gain a ticket. And when we reach 1500 subscribers, we'll make a poll, and you will have one chance for each ticket to gain either a Union battle force, like a massive battle force, actually an armada, or a Covenant force, which have been boosted as well. So 2 fleets to win, and they are both really cool for new players. So go there, and it's gonna be really fun. Without further ado, I think we've said everything. Let's have a look first at the scenario and then at the lists. So here is the table for this scenario, and as you can see, this looks incredible. Like, we're very happy to be able to bring this type of terrain to Dystopian Wars. The first time we bring this massive island, which is the entrance, the arch, to get inside this secret cave, which hides a secret. Is it an artifact? Is it a secret base of the Watchers? We don't know. The only thing that we know now and that has been found in Tortuga is that the Italians of Garibaldi have started their rebellions after they found something in this cave that apparently gives them enough power to think they can threaten the Alliance command. So the Praetorian Guard is here to try to, first of all, finish off the Italians and to find out what it is that they have been hiding here. This scenario is going to be played with a few specific rules. As you can see, since it is a cave, it's a little bit smaller than usual. This is the rear of the cave. So we come from here and we deploy, like the Scandinavians of the Praetorian Guard, and our objective will be to kick the Italians out. Of course, the Italians need to hold the line. Since it is an underwater cave, we play with a fog of war scenario, which means that unless some target is marked, like bloomed, you will have, like, every single hit and double hit is negated. You forget it. You only count the explosives unless the target has bloomed, which means they have shot with a non-torpedo or non-bomb attack. Then they are bloomed, they are kind of like marked, or if they have a SRS token of them. And you will see that the Italians have a lot of SRS tokens. I have almost none, so it means it's gonna be the shooting gallery as I try to charge and reach them. Apart from that, my secondary objective is going to try to sink this flagship, because we've been playing a couple games that were not battle reports, and we have a new rule, which is each faction, each player has a specific flagship, a named flagship, where it pays a lot of points extra to bring some extra rules that are not allowed by the game. So don't scream if this ship is a bit too strong. First of all, it's about 100 points more expensive than a normal Minerva, but it gained a lot of rules. This is the Monte Cristo, and it is the flagship of the Italian resistance, and we will see what it does a little bit later, but just know that we started in our narrative campaign, on top of the free escort for everyone, to have this named flagship rule. That is going to be the only rules for this scenario. So I need to sink the Monte Cristo. He needs to hold off as long as possible, and to try also to sink my Valhalla, which is my main flagship and the flagship of the Praetorian Guard for now. That's it for the scenario. Let's have a look at the list, starting with the Defender. Let's start with the Italian fleet, as we've said, and it is 2,250 point, actually, our fleet, because we wanted to bring a lot of miniatures, and we have about 10% of the fleet in reserve. So for me it's going to be the Egyptian, and for him it's going to be those ships that are outside of the battle zone. So if the battle is too much like going one way or another, to make sure we're not tabled like turn 2, we have 10% of the fleet in reserve to help the player that is losing if he's losing too hard. If it's a little bit close, like we don't use it, but if he's losing too hard, we always have this, and this is also a rule of the season 3. So Steve, what do you bring for your Italians?
So, hey everyone, and today it's about loving Italia.
Ah bah oui, viva Italia!
Alors, there is a squad of Pugio,
Ouais.
fully clan set.
Bah oui, why not? Hein?
Because frying things is a bit in life. So, one squad of Sagitta,
Oui.
full torpedo.
Of course.
Because it's Sagitta.
And they bring a little mine there.
And a mine.
Yeah, a mine right there.
Right. A Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Full Hitlands.
Full Hitlands. The Brutus.
Named the Brutus. Et donc du coup,
Because it's a traitor.
another squad of Pugio,
Yeah.
full torpedo.
Full
this
torpedo.
time.
Yeah, we've seen how they handled the Empire last time. They're very lethal.
Yep.
They almost one-shot not the Hachiman, the Matsumoto. So yeah,
Yep.
they can pain.
Two squad of 5 Chestus
Yeah.
for escorting the
Minerva? Yeah.
Presto.
Is it like Flag Barrage 20 or something with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good anti-air area.
The Monte Cristo is
the Monte Cristo, so it is a-
Minerva name version.
Yeah, so he pays a lot more, like it's about 100 more than the Minerva.
Yeah.
The Minerva is already a good ship, quite tough, ablative flank armor,
Yep.
he can repair. And what does he get more for 100 points more, which is a lot?
So, a Fortune of War,
Yeah,
an intern shield generator.
so that's a very tanky ship.
Yep. Normally, he cannot take torpedo turret,
Mhm.
but
But here he can, he pays for it, of course.
yes, and that's all.
And Acidiasi, which is...
Yes.
I can explain if you want. It's the special rule that means that the SRS token specifically of the Monte Cristo will be intercepted only on 4 counters and not on 3. So that's also an expensive rule. I think it's the most expensive rule that he has. Fortunes of War is at plus 30 points we calculated about. Acidiasi is plus 40. So that is a lot. And yeah, it means that those Jupiter that we'll see, they have a fragile SRS token, but those guys, they are really going to be difficult to intercept. And of course, he has 4 escorts.
4. And the two Jupiter, normal SRS,
Okay.
and 2 Sparta.
2 spotter. He says this very fast, but those are like full Lancets, focus gun. Like, this is just 2 spotter, but yeah, that's a quite threatening force. And the reserve
for
was...
saving the party.
Yeah, if things go bad, he has 2 Scorpios that are being reloaded right now in the rear lines of the Italian. If the things go bad, they will appear at the edge and they will be able to shoot at the incoming Scandinavians.
And for the patron.
Yeah, he has a specific patron that we calculated at plus 2 victory points, and he pays 60 points because we don't count victory points now. Garibaldi, the Italian rebel, what does he bring?
Alors, it brings a special rule, so its particularities for the repairing test. And
Every time you repair,
every time I repair, I can reroll the blank.
which is good, very good, all the time.
And if I succeed,
Yeah.
I must yelling Viva Italia!
So he has to reroll if he succeeds after rerolling a blank. But that's both the repairs when he finishes activating, but also if he makes an emergency repair roll at the end of the turn. So that gives a lot of resilience for the Italian, and let's remember that they do have quite a few sources of repairing with the Mars, the Brutus, the Monte Cristo. So that is a lot of repairing and a good patron for him. Now let's have a look at the invaders. The Scandinavians are here, and I brought basically what is my entire collection of Scandinavians. You've seen them a while ago, before the Valhalla was released. You've seen them a little bit for the siege of the Twin Citadels, because there was everything there. And now it is the first time that we will see the Valhalla and be able to focus on him a little bit more. We're gonna go from left to right. Here we're gonna have a pack of 3 Jotuns with Shroud, because basically every time I could take a Shroud, I put it. It's the theme of the army. They came under cover of the night. They will fight in the darkness of the cave, and they're basically a boarding force that is trying to be as discreet as possible. So everybody has Shroud. Like I brought some Loki, you will see. So 3 Jotuns, quite good with the Stormbringer or Heavy Stormcloud. No, I think it's a Stormbringer, I don't remember. No, it's a Heavy Stormcloud, small Stormcloud, and the Shroud, and of course they go fast and they have good boarding. They have 2 Hoth that are attached. Then I have 2 Odin with, of course, attached 2 Valkyries that are flying low because of the ceiling. They have Vanguard, and if an enemy is seen by either of the 2 Raven of Odin, then it means that this unit will get -2 Citadel to the defense of the enemy when they shoot at him. Here, the named Ragnarok, officially it's a Dangeld, but for me it is the SMS Bloodwrath. And this guy is he's quite angry, of course, like all Scandinavians. I ran out of escort again, so I brought this guy. 2 attached Hoth. He has Devil's Unlock, which is going to be helpful for me once per turn. He has a Shroud, of course. Technically, he's not supposed to have it, but no, he's not supposed to have it. So now I have corrected this guy, the Dangelt, which is actually in the fluff used to fighting the Alliance, so that's great. He has an internal, like here, Fury Generator. He's fast, focus gunnery, and of course he boards like a real devil, but especially he has Devil's Unlock. I have 4 Fenrir here that will probably stay in the back and just be my fire support. They are my only source of extreme range firepower. Then a Valhalla, a normal Valhalla with a Shroud in the front, because this is not a named version. He has 2 Hoth attached and 4 escorts, and he can send those little Valley midget subs, which I will probably use in defense most of the time. They're at 5 dices instead of 3, and they're quite efficient. The Valhalla itself has 2 Stormbringers, as you can see here. Yes, you heard that right. Focus gunnery. He also still has 2 gun batteries. Source of SRS token. Of course, it's very expensive and a little bit fragile for the point cost, but with his special rules, you really need to sink him to remove the threat. And if he gets at point blank, it's gonna bring a lot of pain. The pink little guy here facing the island is a Gungnir. He's facing the island because he has power slide. He's gonna be able to move. Nothing much about this little guy. He has a Stormclaw. I basically put Stormclaws everywhere as I could. Behind you have 2 Lokis. I put the front of the Thor because it looks beautiful, but there are Lokis you can see from the Shroud in the back. They can teleport, which is also why this guy is so close to the island. They'll be able to teleport and move on their first turn. They are quite cheap for what they do. They just have a strong Stormclaw firepower, but they're fair boarding, and I'm counting them a little bit. And then a pack of 6 Hoth, because why not? They're beautiful. I love to put them in a beautiful formation like this. And they give an aura of Corvette duty. No, nobody has blast in this game, neither him, neither me. Luckily for all of us. If you put a flamethrower here, oof, it would pain. And that's that's not the end of it. I have Bjorn and Agatha in my. They came back after helping the Sultanate on the last two battle reports ago, and they're here to fight back against the Italians, and they're gonna deploy turn 2 usually. And to thank them for helping them, I have my reserve. If the game goes bad, I will have a portal that I will drop, and the Praetorian Guard of the Egyptians will thank back the Praetorian Guard of the Imperium by sending a full squadron of assassins, and to bring them around 200 points, I gave them, all of them, etheric lances. So that is going to hurt if I need to bring them. Alright, that is it for the presentation of everything. Let's go for the first few activations. I don't think there's going to be much shooting in the first few activations, especially me. I need to activate my robots first. So let's do a few things and see what happens then. The Italians have initiative. Alright, we had a first couple activations. My first 2 had to be my 2 Ironars, which I deployed here and there to threaten the Mars, the Minerva, and maybe the Jupiter. I will see where I deploy them turn 2. There has been a torpedo attack from those guys. Only 3 of them shot, and they still, despite the fog of war, despite everything, they did a point of damage with this guy that had like a lot of defenses, because they're quite strong still. Another torpedo salvo, which will still not trigger Bloom, is those guys. 4 of them do see the Jotun there, and it's going to be 22 dices between the torpedoes and Pack Hunter that they do have.
so that is going to hurt for sure. 22 dices, and I will have 8 dices of support because of the friends and of the Hoth. No specific rerolls. Let's see what happens.
Viva Italia!
Beyond the year, he did like the first roll, he did 6 explosives, and he again does a crazy good roll. I'm looking only at explosives because we are in Fog of War rule. This time he does 7 explosives, which is not the statistics, but good for him. Making another explosive, and that's it. That's still 8, so it means 16 hits with a Fog of War. Wow.
Hey!
And despite my defenses, of course, I did not go below 11 hits. So it's 1 point of damage on this Jotun and a critical, which is going to be not an explosion, not an explosion. Zut, -2 Citadel, which is means it's going to be in Citadel 9, and especially -2 to the speed, which is annoying since I want to charge forward. Alright, we made actually quite a few activations. This is going to be one short turn one because as you can see, I tried to hide as much as possible. We just make a little stop because there's been another point of damage. As you can see, the objective here was to hide as much as possible. And there's been some SRS token put in here. Some movement there as they get closer and closer. Those Jupiter, by the way, made a full reverse, dropping here. So those are normal SRS. And the ACDAC are going to be on my named Ragnarok, who was not covered anymore because of the Fog of War. So once all of these 8 SRS were deployed, the Minerva with all its torpedoes and everything sent all its torpedoes there. I countered the heavy firepower with my Devil's Own luck, and thanks to a good defense roll, I cancelled his 19 hits by -11 defenses. I had a good roll, and I only suffered 1 point of damage, and even this was barely. Okay, we are doing the last few activations. I'm not sure anybody more will shot on this first turn. We'll move and see at the end of the first turn for the SRS resolutions. End of turn 1, we are about to do the interceptions. Well, my interceptions on him because I didn't attack with SRS. Everything moved forward. As you can see, the Loki are very mobile, like teleporting and then moving. Same for the Hoth and the Gungnir. Most of my troops are kinda covered. I tried. His troops, his fleet is also covered. And I think like turn 2, we're gonna start to have some big attacks on both sides, because yeah, I have a Stormcloud, Stormbringers and boarding. He has a lot, like everybody almost has heat lances. So yes, we cannot do a lot of damage turn 1 with the torpedoes or anything, but when we're gonna start to get in point blank,
It's getting hot.
yeah, it's gonna get real hot in here. So we'll see how that goes. We'll do the resolution of the interception because I do have good interception bubble with all the corvette and everything. We'll see how that goes, what is left at the end. Especially I want to try to shoot down as many ACDAC to try to save my named Ragnarok, because I don't want to get a Sturginium Flare that would drop me on the mine. Okay, so what we actually did, we did the interception for this guy who did a good defense roll, destroying 2 SRS token with a double counter, which means he lost weight of fire. Still, he did 8 hits with what he did, so 1 point of damage and 1 critical, which is going to be defense is offline, so he needs to repair it soon if there is going to be more torpedoes and SRS his way. While we're here, while we're filming, I'm gonna make the interception for the second Odin. 8 dices of defense for the Odin because of everything, corvette and the guy. And again, 2 SRS tokens being shot down, so it's again losing weight of fire. So 6 dices on the second Odin. Again, a great roll. 2 explosives. Okay, there is again going to be 1 point of damage and 1 critical. The critical being, of course. An explosion. I will put all the dice and come back. Well, obviously this was a lot of damage. I lost 9 whole points because I was packed AF, but that's the price to pay to try to hide from all the torpedoes and everything for turn 2. Still, I used the card to repair right away the Dangelt, which is actually the Crimson Rage. Because I need this guy with Devil's Own luck to stay alive. Now, interception roll for the Crimson Rage. Yeah, with all the interlapping bubbles of defenses and everything, and the tokens, etc. I have quite a good defense roll, but they are ACDAC, so I need to destroy at least 3 of them, so 12 defenses if I want to remove weight of fire. Well, possible, but unlikely. Let's see what happens. That is 17 defense roll. That is a terrible attack roll, but a good defense roll. I'm happy I made this now. There is not a single explosive, but it happens at the right time. 17, because they are ACDAC, I only remove half of them, so 4, because 16 divided by 4 is 4. Luckily for them, they have this special rule, otherwise I would nullify the attack completely. He still has a chance with piercing to do a lot of damage and to push me with the Sturginium Flare. And here is the roll. Oh! It's still gonna be piercing. 1 point of damage. Okay. And a critical. Is it Sturginium Flare? No, its defense is offline, but damn, that's gonna be annoying. I really need to repair this one. So 1 point of damage here. Lots of defenses offline. I survived the first turn, more or less. Still took like 15 hits, 15 points of damage on the first turn, and he suffered none. But that is okay for now. We are gonna bet on who gets initiative for the next turn, and we'll see what happens. Now the real battle begins. Alright, first activation of the Pujos, the angry Pujos who are shooting all their torpedoes, 6 torpedo turrets on the Valhalla. It's gonna be 32 dices, plus 5 from Pack Hunter, 37 dices. Luckily I'm still covered by Fog of War, because they don't know yet where I am, but they have to activate first before I start to kill all of them. They're gonna try to do a lot of damage. I will have this dice pool of defenses because of the escort and the corvette and attached unit are. Let's see the attack roll. How many explosives can he make? 5 explosives. So that is going to be 12 hits. Defensive roll, -5. 12 minus 5, 7. My big ship is still alive, thanks to all the dices that I roll. My first activation of the turn 2 is of course going to be Agneta, that comes and charges the Brutus here, and it's going to be with the colossal melee weapon that is crippled because he just arrived. It's going to be 17 dices, thanks to Jorn Hao. I have no idea how to pronounce this. I'm going to reroll blanks because it's surface of skimming of mass 2+. 17 dices, voltaic, so it triggers Inductorium. If I make 3 explosives or more, I have 3 more dices. Let's roll. I do not trigger Inductorium yet, but I have... No, I will not trigger Inductorium. Or maybe yes, actually, because this was the roll of the blank. Now the 2 explosives. Inductorium! 3 extra dices from Inductorium. And the 2 explosives that were here. Voilà, quand ça veut. Much better. Thanks to Inductorium, it was useful. Okay, so I made some shooting with Agneta, crippling this Jupiter with 12 hits that caused 2 points of damage and a Sturginium Flare. Great. And with the Ubervolt Virling, I obliterated one of the Chestuzebek in the back, making a path for my second Einherjar that will arrive soon. I decided to declare a boarding on the Mars because it's very bold, but it's gonna be beautiful. I have 12 dices rerolling blank, devastating. He has a ton of dices, but we will see what happens. I hope for a good roll. Oh, let's go! Oh, it's not so great. I will probably do a reroll for those 3. And he has not such a great, but I declared my reroll before I saw his result, so I will try. Okay, he countered my reroll because he had only 7 and he's trying to make sure I don't go too high. I had 3 to reroll, but I still reroll the blank because of Wolves of the Sea, making nothing, and I have 1 explosive, making nothing. 13 to 7, I think that is a carnage, we'll check. So it was not a carnage, it was barely catastrophic, which is 1 level above brutal. Still, it was catastrophic explosion, removing one of the escort and doing another point of damage. And the critical was a navigation lock. We've said it already, but the Imperium is very strong. The Imperium robots are very strong. Maybe they deserve to cost more than 167 points. Maybe. Okay, the activation of the Italians after this was to put this Jupiter here to make sure I don't have a space to put my robot, and thus Bjorn arrived here to punch this guy. There was few options. I could try here and make a Blitzlight to attack the Monte Cristo, but is it really fair to one-shot the named flagship with custom rules of your opponent with these teleporting robots that are way too powerful? We're not sure. Could have tried to attack here, but I think it's most cinematic there. So I will do a ramming attack on this guy. I will try to declare a second ramming to a target within 3. So it could be him, maybe it could even be him. Then I will do some shooting around, probably pivoting to make some shooting, and then aborting. We will do all the robot action because you've seen it just before. All the robot actions here, and we make a little summary after Bjorn has finished all his activations. Well, after everything, Bjorn did manage to obliterate in a single activation this Pata. He had to use everything on him, including all the shoulder cannon, the Gatling, the ramming. He cancelled, of course, my double ramming. Used the card to cancel my reroll of some dices during the ramming, by the way. And in the end, with the boarding, I had a brutal result, 1 catastrophic explosion and 1 critical, and it's the last critical, the third one that he suffered, that finally sank him. So to the point of damage, he died, but still, this robot just came and one-shot an Italian heavy cruiser from the flank. What the hell? Well, fun for me, but a bit less fun for the Italians. Good that we plan to have some reserves, so the game is a little bit more balanced and fun until the end. Revenge of the Italians. He used a card to remove the navigation lock on the Brutus. I did not counter because I wanted to see this. He made a big turn with his turn of 5. He went to attack Bjorn in the rear, like the Brutus that he is. He goes under the arc, and his knife goes in the back of the poor Caesar, let's call him. And he's going to make a big ramming action, of course. Then all the hit lances are going in the back of Bjorn. And we will see if Bjorn stands alive. If yes, maybe there will be a boarding action to be done just after. The Italian player Steve made a double activation, and he activated those Pujo with hit lances. Without much surprise between Pacanter and all the hit lances, they did 35 hits on this poor Agneta, even though she's at the red level of disorder, by the way, even though she has armor 8 and a shield generator. Yeah, thanks for Valentin. Even though it's armor 8 and a shield, still it was, well, she went from 4 hull point left in battle ready to only 2 in crippled. She is not feeling well at all. Well, that's it for the poor counter-attack on the robots. Now let's see if we can get some fire support from the main force of the Scandinavians. Couple activations happened for turn 2. My Fenrir linked all their torpedoes and destroyed the Pujo that was here, the one with torpedoes, so there is one less good. One of them was sacrificed to trigger the mine that was around there, so there, that happens. Then this guy shot torpedoes doing nothing, and all the hit lances to finish off Bjorn. He had to use a card to make the last reroll, but now he's out of card, so that is good for me. I still have 2. I know exactly what I'm gonna do with them. So he bloomed because he used his hit lances and they cause a lot of light. So my Gungnir saw that and he was like, oh, I can ignore the fog of war. So he charged forward, doing a grand total of 1 hit with the heavy Stormclaw. So, well, Gungnir is not in such a big battle mood. And now we have the first unit of Chestus Zebek activating, and they're probably all gonna shoot on Agneta. The Alliance is rightfully scared of Agneta moving this unit of Chestus Zebek in position. They shot everything, but they were at point blank, so it was a bit harder, and with the shield and with terrible rolls actually, and being at point blank, of course, they not even did 1 point of damage on Agneta. So that is a little bit sad for them. And my turn, I teleported the Lokis on the other side of the rock, moving them forward so they are just barely at 10 inches of this guy. And I'm gonna shoot now 2 Stormclaws and 2 heavy Stormclaws on this guy. Quick resume, the Chestus Zebek here used their gun battery also doing nothing. And we forgot that those guys had picket broadsides, those guys as well. They both shot their picket broadside, each of them doing 1 point of damage on Agneta, and finally destroying the last of the Iron Yar. In the meantime, the Loki, as I said, teleported here, came here. They did 3 points of damage with all their stuff. They also did a generator offline that we forgot to put here, that did put him to the black, and then 1 morale damage. And there are arc weapons, so it did another point of damage through a disorder token. So it went from having +4 hull points in battle ready to having only 3 left in crippled. Activation of the Valhalla. like Steve said, Valhalla Wakba. Kidding, I will cut this in the montage. So the Valhalla activates. And he is going to, first of all, he put his Valley midget subs here to remove the Fog of War on those units. And then he's going to activate 1 Sturmbringer plus 1 Heavy Stormclaw. Sorry, 1 normal Stormclaw, or if you don't remember, of this guy. And he's going to make 1 big attack, Sturmbringer plus Hoth Corvette here. It's going to be devastating, sustain, etc. Great, because they have advanced Stormclaw, the Hoth, and second Sturmbringer with a second Hoth. On this little guy, they are both at point blank, they should both be deleted. We'll do this, and then it's going to be turn of the Italians. Of course, the Valhalla obliterated those 2 guys. They did not finish off this guy, which got 2 points of damage. We forgot the dice, but he has only 1 whole point left on this guy. The Minerva, the Monte Cristo, sent all its SRS token, all 8 of them, on the Valhalla, on the Crimson Wrath, the Blood Rage, or Crimson Wrath, something like this. This guy always mix them up. We'll see who survives at the end. And he stayed there with a full reverse, but he did a great repair roll. He repaired himself, the disorder from the full repair. He repaired disorder here, there. This guy went from the red. He also repaired 2 whole point, 1 on the Jupiter and 1 on the Chestus Zebek somewhere. And that's already a good activation from the Minerva, but he's staying hidden. He's sending wave after wave of SRS, which is the good call. I still have a few more activations, and he's running out. I think he only has the Sagittas left. We are closing to the end of the second turn. As you can see, there is the target of the blast right here. There's been quite some push. The Sagittas came here. There's been only 1 loss. The Pujo unit here has been entirely destroyed. And by the way, those guys are gonna move something like this, because the entire squadron out here, they scramble. Many attacks were split, and as you can see, many Hoth and many units have suffered a couple points of damage and etc. But the losses of the Scandinavians are quite low for now, even though many of them are damaged. But he still has the Mars, that though he is turning tail and preparing to run away as all good Italians should. No, I'm kidding, that's a French joke we should do about French soldiers. He still has the Minerva intact, some Heat Lances boys very strong right there. So we will see how that goes, but it is clear that the Scandinavian horde is pouring forward. So what we are going to do is, there is the Italian reinforcements that are activating, and what is that? Those ships have finished reloading, and we have 2 Scorpios that are emerging from the rear of the base, and they are going to shoot everything on the incoming hordes of the Scandinavians that are pouring through the breach. And is it going to be enough? I don't know, but probably it will at least make the Scandinavians pay a high price to take the cave and see what artifact or base or whatever they have been hiding inside. Let's see the activations of the Scorpios. We are reaching the end of turn 2. All the activations have been made. The Rostratum did a point of damage on this Odin with torpedoes and another point of damage on this guy because of not such a great roll. But as you can see, they activated the Rostratum naval ballistae and turned the Odin around. It made some collision, making some disorder tokens, of course. And yeah, now he's blocking the path. He used my own ship to block the gap. I love this image of everybody just pouring in from every direction. Now we're going to make the interceptions. I do have my 2 and 2 Valley midget subs, so we will see how that goes for the Pujos. And interception also, there is 8 dices of the Assidiasi on my Valhalla, and 7 SRS tokens on the poor Ragnarok, the Crimson Rage, that has defense offline. But didn't I keep until the end 43 that I will declare a Valorous Conduct to put at 50. I will repair. I kept it from the beginning of the turn, and he has his defenses again. Not sure it's gonna make a huge change, but we're gonna make the interception rolls, and we'll see what the SRS attacks do. We are going to film. 1 Pujo died from the first wave of Valley, and the second did absolutely nothing. Okay, it happens. On the Crimson Rage, so the Dangelt. We have 7 SRS tokens, and between the ADV of 8 plus Corvette Duty plus 12, because every single half of the game is in range, none have been destroyed, plus 4 escorts, etc. I have 25 dices of interception. They are not ACDAC, so it means I need only 3 to remove 1 token. Let's see if it's going to be a crazy roll or not. And it removed 5 SRS tokens, so only 2 of them are going to attack the Ragnarok. Let's make a roll, because maybe it's going to be piercing. I think it is a point of damage. It's exactly 8. So I take a point of damage. It is piercing on this little guy. And if it is a magazine explosion, I am going to be very sorry that I packed everything. Oh my god, no, not the magazine explosion, not... Sturginium flare, not... Okay, I'm pushing those guys forward. It's going to be a little disorder on this guy that already received a disorder. So he's going to go to the red. I'm also going to go to the yellow, but at least it's not a magazine explosion. I do, though, lose another point of damage. Alright, second interception roll. Those ACDAC are going to attack this Valhalla with all their weight. I have 27 dice this time, because I have even better ADV, but they are ACDAC, so I need 4 counters. If I really want to intercept, I need at least 1, but I will have to remove weight of fire. I just want to say I'm sorry for Steve, because I have 27 dice of defense, I make 20 counters. This is absolutely not the statistics. So I remove 5 tokens, he has 3 left, but he's still looking to make a magazine explosion. Oh yeah, and he's going to make a critical at least. There is 1 explosive. Is he going to breach the citadel? 1 point of damage with all of this. So he's going down, but the main question that we all have is it going to be a magazine explosion?
No.
Am I gonna lose 20 whole points? Oof, again, no. There is the biggest traffic jam that we've ever seen in Dystopian Wars. What the hell is going on? I'm not sure I will take the area at all. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? I'm super blocked. It's different units. I cannot... What should I do? Oh my god. Okay, it's not going great. It's not going great. We'll see how I can do. But at least no magazine explosion. That is going to be the end of turn 2. We are now going to turn 3. The Italians need to reform their battle lines. And I need to sort out this mess. Oh my god. Beginning of turn 3, there's been some real big shenanigans. He has initiative with Italy thanks to Valor effect, for Valor, that allowed him to keep a 55 points card. So he had initiative. At first he had 4 Pujos here. He was trying to look at there. He could only shoot because of the Fog of War effectively at the Odins and the Valkyries, and he was like, I'm not sure. He did something that could be wise. He activated first the Jupiters, sending all the SRS tokens on the Ragnarok, the named Ragnarok. They are now the black level of disorder, this guy, because he sent his SRS first and then he percuted the Minerva, so he didn't use full reverse as a special operation action, so he could still send his SRS tokens. So this guy is spotted, the Ragnarok. However, I used this opportunity to activate my 2 Odins and my 2 Valkyries. I tried to remove navigation lock with a card, he countered, so this guy just... I was like, okay, you know what, you're lost. So he goes far away. Every turn now at the end of the activation, he gets a disorder, so he's at the black level of disorder. Soon he's gonna be crippled, great. However, it means that my second Odin that was there, and it's 2 scheming Valkyries, they are scheming because they are trying to hide because the ceiling is low, moved forward, did a ramming action on this guy, 1 Stormclaw, plus 2 Stormclaws, plus Rudiger, plus Broadside, plus boarding action of Angry Vikings, means that 3 of the Pujos are dead and only 1 is remaining with the Heat Lances, and is now at the yellow level of disorder because he's the last survivor of the squadron. So good try from Steve. It was the right call to do to try to destroy the Ragnarok. However, without a double activation, I did manage to counter this. However, now this guy is bloomed, of course, and it means this guy as well, and the Ragnarok is spotted. Let's see what he's going to activate to try to make the most of this. The Rostratum Cannon Naval Ballistae linked everything, of course the Rostratum Cannon as the main weapon, plus Torpedo Salvo, plus Torpedo Turret. doing a ton of damage, 35 hits, double citadel on the Ragnarok, leaving him with everything at 1 point of damage. You can see he has nothing because he activated after repairing everything with a great repair roll. 3 dices, 3 blues, great. He activated, going there. He was a little bit slow, so he couldn't use his Sturmbringer at full potential, but it doesn't matter. Sturmbringer killed Chesuzebek, Stormclaw killed another one, with the help actually of the gun batteries. And this little guy made a broadside on this Pujo, 4 dices, light broadside, not supposed to be great, huh? Yeah, but that's what happened with 4 dices, not even having any blues, so, well, okay, that happened. So the Ragnarok did a last heroic Viking action before his inevitable death, but the Crimson Rage deserves its name. Time to the Italians to make the Scandinavian pay for what appears to come as a Scandinavian victory. Alright, the Sparta that was here, it was in defensive position. Yeah, show him again. It was holding the line, doing a lot of ramming and shooting with its lances one after the other because it was the black level of disorder. But in the end, after he crippled and almost killed my Loki there and deactivated his shroud, which means I cannot teleport anymore because it's his shroud that also teleport, by the way. Then the Lokis just came forward, one of them rammed, then 2 heavy Stormclaws, 2 Stormclaws aborting, he died. He had like 1 whole point left before the shooting. And the defense line here is broken because this Pata is dead. Now the Sagittas are coming here. They charge to be within 5 of the Valhalla, doing a huge torpedo salvo. I just realized in red they look a lot like Eldar ships like this. And he did 35 hits of torpedoes on my Valhalla, which is, 34 hits of torpedoes on my Valhalla, which means that it's already a double citadel. However, I have a lot of dices of defense. I need to make at least 5 defenses, and if I do 5 defenses, I will save myself. Okay, I need 5 defense to save 3 whole points. Let's go!
Ça a mis 5 minutes à monter dans mon cerveau,
Oui.
mais... Oh.
It's good. I wish I did just 1 more, but it's... oh, but attends. I will use this card at 50 because of Venomous Conduct, because I need just 1 more defense to save a whole point. 38.
No.
Do you count? Oh no!
Yeah.
Fortunes of War on the Monte
Arrêtez.
Cristo is powerful. He will probably try to evacuate the Monte Cristo to keep it for further games because he doesn't want his named ship to be sunk. But yeah, no rerolls, so it means 3 whole points and a critical on this poor Valhalla. Is it gonna be Magazine Explosion?
Yes.
No! No! Oh no!
Finally!
So lots of hull points are going to be lost left and right, and my 2 Hoth escorting are outright destroyed. No! Okay, let's put damage dices everywhere. Alright, so after this, lots of people died, and actually the Ragnarok, which was in range, was destroyed by the explosion of the Valhalla, because the point here was within 4 of the rear there. So yeah, friendly fire incident, unfortunately. We'll see what I activate, but probably those 4 Sagittas are not going to see the end of the turn. And he's thinking, do I evacuate the Monte Cristo or do I try to win? Alright, this is going to be the end for us. We played until the end of the 3rd turn, and we kind of theory crafted what's gonna happen later on. Victory of the Imperium, even though they suffered quite some losses. I removed all the dices for the health and for the disorder, etc. for the beauty. In the end, the Valhalla, the Blood Rage was not crippled, even with a huge attack of SRS, with a good defense roll and everything, lost only 3 whole points. So he was not even that close to cripple, and he broke through the main defenses. The submarine, the Sagittas, after doing their business, got obliterated through the heavy broadside and escorts, the Jotuns, the Hoth. It was a slaughter. Here he sent his last Chesuzebek to try to gain some time, barely holding off the waves of the Scandinavians, and he had to sacrifice also the 2 Jupiters to really make a blockade here, and they put their anchor down and they held the ground. The survivor was the Monte Cristo, which left away like while his Acidiasi were holding his cover. The Scorpio are pulling back. We'll see, maybe next time we can continue this onslaught, with still the Italians and maybe another faction now that this first part of the cave has been captured. Let us know in the comments if you would like to see the second half of the cave with some Italian base. We can ask Steve to make some custom terrain if he wants to make his secret lair. We'll see what happens there. Just let us in the comment as well, what do you think has been hidden in the back of the cave? What are the Italians fighting so hard to keep? Is it an artifact? Is it a watcher base? Let us know in the comments and you will see later on if you are right or not, and maybe if it's a better idea than what we have right now, we will use it. We have here the bridge that was made once the Sparta was destroyed. The Brutus, which was already crippled with the first wave of midget subs, decided that he would go down in glory after stabbing Bjorn in the back. He crushed himself in this in the border of the cave, blocking the path, shooting all the way there. This Loki was destroyed, he was already crippled, and unfortunately with all the waves, the Brutus was sank eventually with this Loki, this Gungnir, the last Odin, and another wave of midget subs. Unfortunately, the Brutus was lost. So the flagships lost were the Crimson Wrath, and the Brutus lost in this battle. And that is going to be it. A lot of losses, especially for the Italian, that is true, but also one of the flagship of the Scandinavians. We've seen the raw power, the might of the Imperium. They took this first half of the cave. The assault was a success, and we are going for the debriefing. Alright, we hope that you enjoyed this battle, this absolutely insane onslaught with custom terrain, custom map, these cave rules. If you enjoy, please do give us a thumbs up. We really try to make some nice terrain, some beautiful fleets, and everything, so the game is fun, some custom scenarios. So if you would like more Dystopian Wars, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment. As always, while you make a comment, let us know what you thought of this scenario. Do you want to have the second half of the cave? What do you think is hidden? Let's make this narrative campaign together. Now we're gonna tell about what we thought of the different forces. I will start with the Scandinavians, and damn, they are strong. Like, I never played the Scandinavians actually. I always borrowed my fleet we've seen in the previous battle reports. Scandinavians can melt when they are out in the open, but if you do maneuver them well, and until you are at the point blank and boarding range, etc., they do pack such a punch, like wow. Especially with, there were a lot of torpedoes, so the shrouds were almost never in play, ever. But still, I think a full shroud Scandinavian list is insane. You've seen the Loki, how cool they were, like teleporting around. The Valhalla is an insane ship. The Einherjars are too strong. They should be nerfed. 167 points is not what they were. They were 200 points, and everybody would still take them. And they are absolutely insane.
In pack of 4.
Yeah, in pack of 4, yeah. You can bring them in packs of 4, which is cool because you can then have all the singers of ABBA, which is great. But 4 Einherjar might not be very fun for your opponent, because how do you protect against that? I have no idea. Except Maritime Patrol, actually. Now, Maritime Patrol could be a solution. You just didn't have many access to Maritime Patrol with the Italian. I'm not even sure if you have one. Maybe the Pilum, the Monitor, maybe.
French captured.
Yeah, capture French. Maybe next time you read some more French. But here it was the theme, like Scandinavians against Italians. It was really fun. I love the Loki. It's such a joy to play. It feels like playing Sultanate, but with ships that are actually strong. Valhalla, I love this ship because it's everything I love in the game. You can send some SRS tokens. You have good firepower in the front. Great boarding, it's fast, what's not to love, and with the Shroud, well, again, the Shrouds were not useful in this game, still it was a victory, and yeah, it's a great ship to play. The Ragnarok, the name Ragnarok is very strong for the point cost, especially since it brings Devils Unlock. You don't want to, the weird thing is you don't want to expose him that much to keep Devils Unlock, but still very efficient, great. The Hoth, absolutely MVPs. First of all, they're relatively cheap-ish, I think they're less than 40 points, if I remember, like 35, I don't remember exactly. But they're quite cheap for what they bring. 3 hull points, only 10 citadels, 10 citadel, which can pop fast, but if they don't, against torpedoes, which happen a lot, if you start to pack them, damn, okay, against blast, they can absolutely be wiped out, but in some circumstances, wow, and they combo very well, as you've seen, with the Sturmbringer, because they have sustain on their own weapon, so you can really start to make, with the Valhalla or the Ragnarok, start to pop a couple or even 3 mass ones in a single activation with them. Amazing. Huge surprise as well of the Odin and the Valkyries. It's really great. I barely tried it in the Siege of the Twin Citadels. I made one activation. No, I saw an activation. I was like, oh, isn't that strong? Playing it
It's insane. It's very, very strong. Even they're great here, being scheming, being able to hide. But the rules we're gonna make, I think I zoomed out so you can see the whole table with this. I'm not gonna check right now. But those islands, they're high enough that even if you have a flying ship, they should be still hidden. So you can play them as hiding the aerial terrain. If you watch this battle report, you've already seen, it's already been published, the video where we cover this. But really, this terrain is amazing. I think this is gonna be my last word on this, and then I give you a word, mic to you, Steve.
Yep.
But this terrain is amazing.
It's same ideas.
Yeah, you like it too. Like, we love it. Custom terrain is great as always because you can really customize. But this, again, I think it's 150 euros, and you have 10%, I think, with a code that I have, event 24 or 2024. And you can get them at -10%, and it's perfect for Dystopian Wars. This rule that we just practiced today for the first time of this blocking the line of sight, and when you go under, kind of like the scheming on the island, you see through, works brilliantly. It gives such tactical choices, amazing. I would not play anymore without them. I think I'm gonna buy with my own coins those in the winter area, because that's gonna be amazing. Though I don't know where I'm going to store them and how I'm going to transport them, but that's another question, because this thing is more than a kilo of resin, and this one as well. Alright, that's it for the Scandinavians. Brilliant faction to play, such fun. It was very fun for me to play Scandinavians, because you rush forward, it's basically horse or Tyranids, you just charge forward very fast trying to hide. I think they're fun to fight against, Scandinavians, because you have this horde coming forward and you're trying to shoot as much as possible.
It was really funny because it was playing like against myself. It was a difficulty in this way.
Yeah.
So I have to hold my nerves.
Yeah, not charge, yeah, not panic, and be like, okay, how can I hold them? You did very well, like blocking the main pass here. It was really well. So, Steve, what did you think of the Scandinavians we've talked, and of the Italians? What did you think?
On the Scandinavian, there is a very, very, very good ships, very aesthetics.
Yeah.
Not too overpowered, just balance.
Yeah.
Between what can it be in Imperium.
Yeah.
And the other faction. It's middle.
Yeah.
It's middle.
It's not the strongest Imperium. That's true. That would be Teutonic Knights, probably.
Very balanced. The robot is totally strong.
Yeah. The Dynarians are the one part of the faction where it's like, it's undercosted. Like, I don't see how this thing is 160 points.
The pack of forge.
Yeah. But
Can you imagine?
it's just a matter of points. Like, I think the rules are fun. They do a little bit of everything. They're not too strong at ramming, not too strong at boarding, not too strong at shooting. They have a shield. They're tough, though. They take a lot of firepower to deal with. The thing is, all of this, they're not great at one thing specifically. They do a little bit of everything. They're so useful that you're not supposed to pay like 160 points, which is like very expensive heavy cruiser for this. It's supposed to be like almost a flagship. 200 points seems closer to the truth. But they're such fun to play. Even at 200 points, I would still play them, because they're a joy to play. They look amazing.
Two of them.
Yeah.
Just two of them. Wipe out my strategy.
Yeah, it was well organized, and then they popped behind. We're like, oh my god, turning around. That's why the mouse went to the back.
It was such a massive menace.
Yeah. Yeah, you cannot leave them, because even crippled, they do a lot of damage. So imagine what they do when they're not crippled.
So it must be down.
Yeah. The Italians, what did you think?
The Italians is a very, very nice faction, sub-faction actually, but it can be played as a faction, I think.
Yeah, you can play them, only them.
Yep.
You have some ships to hold the line.
It's balanced, not very costed for what they do.
Yeah, they're
There is some tricks, very funny.
Yeah, with the Rostratum.
With the Rostratum, with the mines.
With the mines, yeah. You had only one mine here, but if you put 5 mines, I don't know how to handle this.
I have a list.
You have a list with 5 mines? Maybe next time.
But you have a list with 4 robots.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe next time I bring 4 Einarians.
But like the other sub-factions of the Alliance, it misses maybe some more ships.
Yeah, they do have front line and support.
All of them, it's great.
Yeah.
Well balanced, but separately,
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
It's
Though,
more difficult.
Isn't it the theme of the Alliance? Different nations working together.
Yes.
So it goes together. Though we know there are some more Italian flagships coming soon. Soon, we don't know. Actually, soon we don't know. But we've seen in the orbit, in some battlefleets, that some names that we don't know. I think there is a Pluto, there is a Hades, something like this.
Tiber.
Yeah, the Tiber. So we will see what they do. Maybe it's a giant robot. Fine. We don't know. Probably.
In my dream.
Yeah, probably in the fort. We don't. We have no idea actually. Let's not make a guess. Maybe it's gonna be a small battle cruiser.
Fortification.
Could be.
The
could be.
Bon.
Yeah. Or can you imagine like a flagship of the Italians, a huge fortification with a huge mass 4 ballistae? That could be fun. I hope it's this. We record this. It's like the 13th of April. We don't know anything yet, but I'm calling it giant Rostratum ballistae.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Alright, we hope that you enjoyed. If you're not subscribed yet, do subscribe so you don't miss any battle report or the analysis, the unboxing, the tacticas that we do on Dystopian Wars or on Conquest as well, which is another great game that we will make some more battle reports soon. Dystopian Wars, we have a lot of fleets already. Conquest, we are going up in power. We start to have a lot of different armies, so we can have variety, so it means we can record more battle reports without tiring you of always having duegomes against squadrons. So expect lot more Conquest soon. And of course, still as many Dystopian Wars as always. Thank you very much. Until the next video, take care of yourself and remember to keep spreading the love all around. Bye!